I wanted to take a trip down memory lane today and look at an old legend, the world's chillest man. Tony Tovar was in a situation where his local bar was being robbed at gunpoint and things didn't quite go as the robber planned. This happened in late 2019, and I think once COVID hit in 2020, a lot of people seem to have forgotten who the world's chillest man is, and I want this to serve as a reminder because the COVID era is like the Void Century from One Piece, and I haven't seen anyone mention Tony's name in a long time, and that's just not right.
He's the guy who became a national sensation as the world's chillest man.
Sometimes you just have to stand up to punks like that.
Tony Tovar just nonchalantly sat there, lighting up his cigarette as his favorite neighborhood bar was robbed.
I'll show you some clips from the full security camera footage in a moment because I don't think the Inside Edition Supercut does it justice with how badass this is. He is the Zen master. Tony is cooler than the other side of the pillow. He's just got ice in his veins. I don't think his heart rate ever went above 70 BPM. And it's not like the robber came in here with like a handgun or anything. He blasted into the Thunderdome here with a fucking boomstick. He's got the lumber. And yet, Tony doesn't give a fuck. This guy entered his domain. He's not trapped in here with the robber's trapped in here with Tony. This is when Tony's first alerted to the robber's presence here with the gun. You can't really see the exclamation point go over Tony's head like in Metal Gear because he's just not even like bothered at all. He's been alerted but doesn't give a fuck. Everyone around him starts ducking and complying, the safest thing you can do, but Tony's built a little different, so he's just going, to the wind with that. That's for the birds. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll and see if my team won with the recent game scores. And then he gets the gun shoved into his ribs. The robber tries to take his phone and Tony says, "Nope, not on my watch, Buster," and rips it back. That's just actual anime protagonist energy right there. Like, his power level is so far above the robbers that he just doesn't even register it as a real threat. It's just somewhat of a nuisance to Tony here. It's just crazy because this guy comes in here with a big gun. Like, we're not talking noisy cricket out of Men in Black. We're talking, like, meat. This guy comes in here with a big gun, and Tony's just more relaxed than anything. It looks like he's listening to ASMR. Like, he's dozing off here. It's just no big deal to him.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robber's orders and hit the deck. He puts the barrel of that gun into your rib cage. What's going through your mind?
He was reaching for my phone at the same time, so what was going for my mind is, no, this is not going to happen.
That's just a menacing aura right there. I'm honestly impressed the robber didn't just leave after Tony took his phone back. Like, that is just, like, that's actually scary. Tony's just like, "Hey, so he's reaching for my phone," and I said, "Nope, that's just not going to happen."
The surveillance video is silent. Now, Tovar is revealing what words were exchanged during his scary encounter.
He actually asked me, "I need the money out of your wallet." I just said, "I got $2 in my wallet and that's for my next beer." I actually told him, "Hey, since you're back there, get me a beer." He looked at me and says, "No, get your own beer."
Not only does Tony shake off the robber with the gun in his ribs like he's bulletproof, he starts shit-talking him. He starts going like Xbox Live mode. He's like, now he's just taking the piss here. Like, of course, the surveillance camera is silent, so there's no way to know for sure if that's what he said, but I trust him. I really do. Like, I imagine he actually did say that, because he does say something. You can see it in the surveillance camera footage. He does say something to the robber when he's behind the bar after lighting up a cigarette. And I love the way he tells the story, too. He's just like, "Yeah, you know, so told him, might as well make me a beer, right? And then I wrote his name in the death note." Also, I've got to say, God bless that bar's prices. If you're getting $2 beers there, you hold on to that tight. That's precious. I can't remember the last time there was a beer for $2 at any place I've been in Tampa. The amount of time Tony had this gun just pointed right at his face is just frightening. And yet Tony doesn't flinch at all, just lighting up the cigarette right in front of him. It just oozes intimidation, like his spiritual pressure like a character out of Bleach is on another level here. Now, obviously, this is the most dangerous way imaginable of handling a situation like this. It's extraordinarily lucky that Tony didn't end up just getting shot and killed here. It's extremely lucky that no one was hurt in this entire situation here. And I do want to mention the guy next to Tony. So as you can see, he's getting the gun shoved into his back to bring his wallet out and give him the money inside of it, which he does. He complies, which is the right thing to do. And then moments later, he also lights up a cigarette just like Tony. So now you have two dudes here just kind of hard fucking chilling, smoking a cigarette during this robbery. I guess Tony was just giving out chill pills, and this dude's like, alright, you know what, I'll just go ahead and start smoking a cigarette too, you know, no reason to stress.
After taking money from other patrons, the robber forced the bartender to open the cash register. He took all the money, $200 in total. All the while, Tovar just sits there taking it all in. His advice for anyone else who finds themselves in a similar situation, don't do what he did.
If you don't want to get hurt and you're not sure, comply.
He is absolutely right. Tony's behavior here should not be emulated under any circumstances. The best thing you can do is comply, because it's just not worth getting killed over. You never know how unhinged the other person is. Like I said, Tony just got extremely lucky here. Like, this easily could have gone much, much worse, and it's just very fortunate that it didn't. Now, Tony seems like a great guy. Inside Edition actually did a follow-up with Tony the year after this happened, just to kind of see how he's doing and what's going on, and he just seems like a legitimate sweetheart.
Tony's been a master mechanic for 38 years, and currently works at Century Tire and Auto in St. Louis, Missouri. His boss agrees with the headlines seen on Inside Edition's YouTube channel more than 50 million times.
Tony is the world's chillest man.
A master mechanic and a master at chilling. Even his boss seems like a super cool character. I love the way he comes in and says, Tony is the world's chillest man. It reminds me of like an old radio show host. Behold, the man who can chill under any circumstances, in a pool of sharks, in a pool of lava, in a pool. He can chill anywhere, in the face of bullets, the face of cannons. You can't stop him from chilling. I don't know, he just seems cool.
Inside this bar behind me is a regular watering hole.
I lived right there. And they got
There are local neighbors that depend on coming here and feeling that they're safe, to have their refreshments, and to not be bothered.
Is there anything more wholesome? Just a mechanic and his boss and his friends going to the local bar just to shoot the shit.
Tony wants people to know that even though he seems untroubled by danger, he fought to have this seat at the bar.
I'm a very honest person, forthright, hardworking, and nobody is going to take what I have worked hard for, under any circumstances.
As for the suspect in the armed robbery case, Kevin Moore pleaded not guilty to charges against him. He remains behind bars as he's being held with no bond.
He actually wrote a letter while he was incarcerated and apologized to the bar. And we put that letter on the wall. And people ask me, well, what do you think about him? I said, you know what? If I met him again today, I'd ask him to pray with me.
Amen. And that's the most recent update I can find on Tony Tovar. That's just, I don't know, it's just so sweet. They then frame the apology note from the robber. Like, what the fuck? That's so cool. Again, definitely like the worst way ever of handling a robbery situation, because he could have just been shot and killed for it, but he didn't. And he seems like a really wholesome guy, and you know, he's still earned that title, the world's chillest man. It's been quite a few years now, and I can't think of a more chill man in the world, at least none that pops into my head immediately. So yeah, I just wanted to tell the story of Tony Tovar, because it's been quite a while, and I haven't seen his name around in a long time. I hope he's doing well, I hope the bar is still doing well, and it's safe, and everyone there is safe. That's really about it. So yeah. Anti-aging guru Brian Johnson injected his face with fat and it went wrong. Now he's got handsome Squidward build. I'd been following Brian Johnson for a bit. Hadn't seen anything new from him for like the last month or so. No, I guess it is real. Holy. Wow. That actually looks like when I make goof juice in my Dark Souls playthroughs. He injected his face with fat-derived extracellular matrix. Selfies uploaded this week to his Instagram show his face progressively getting puffier and puffier, resulting in a bizarre and swollen visage straight out of the 2024 horror sci-fi flick The Substance. My biomarkers were improving, but I looked gaunt. People thought I was on the brink of death. That doesn't bode well for the anti-aging protocol and the 600 pills that he takes every 4 hours. But after starting what he called Project Babyface, which involved injecting donor fat, his face began to blow up, and then it got worse and worse until I couldn't even see. It was a severe allergic reaction. In another recent bid to turn back the clock on his body, Johnson underwent a procedure called total plasma exchange. Oh yeah, I remember that. In an alleged attempt to remove all unnatural pollutants from his blood. Some of you have probably seen his work before without realizing who he is. He's the guy who had his son donating his blood and plasma to him so he'd have younger blood and plasma, and then he was donating his blood and plasma to his dad. So he had like this human centipede of blood and plasma from his family tree. His whole thing is like he's spending millions of dollars a year to try and figure out how to de-age. And I've said from the beginning, it's weird, he's wacky, he's creepy, he looks vampiric, but if he actually has any kind of scientific breakthroughs, that's just good for the world. And he's openly publishing all of his findings, so kind of a W. Tough L on this one here, though, with Project Babyface, unfortunately. Got him out of the Oblivion character creator, but I'm sure he'll keep trying. He's just beta testing for the whole world. He's just like a guinea pig for all of it. Click the link that says uploaded this week to see the unfiltered. Oh, okay. Was that edited? Let's see. Oh, wow. So it's not as red. Why even put the filter on there? It's still the same, but at least it's not as red. I don't see the point of the filter. But man, that facial structure. Actual handsome Squidward. He did it. Has anything new even been found through his experiments? Now, I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that his experiments have led to some kind of scientific revolution. You know, he hasn't fucking discovered cold fusion here by injecting eucalyptus oil into each butt cheek every morning or anything. There have been some interesting findings that he has published. All of this is for free, by the way, which is why I think what he's doing is actually pretty cool. He's going through so much experimentation, trying so many different things, and publishing all of the results, like, openly available to anyone who wants to see them. And sometimes, some of his experiments are really wacky, such as this one, where he's de-aging his penis, talking about how he has the erection of an 18-year-old. That's pretty odd. That elicits a fart from me, for sure. Actually, even a double. And you know, that was so good, I think I'll have it a third time. Man, my ass is talking some serious shit right now. Point is, I don't know if he's actually had any, like, crazy breakthroughs with this, but it is still interesting nonetheless. But yeah, that video where he's looking for the fountain of youth for his wiener, definitely on the weirder side of things for sure. But just, let's picture that for a moment. Let's say he's like completely successful, but only with that, he finds the perfect formula to lock your cock in stasis as like a 20-year-old's member. But everything else doesn't work, so Brian Johnson ends up like 90 years old, he's like rotting away, decaying, his skin's all wrinkly and shit, but he's got a pristine dick. Like, he's got the fucking optimal hog. Who's allowing this to happen? Are there no laws to prevent these experiments? What would the law be? I mean, he's willing to, I think he should be well within his rights to do whatever he wants to himself in his own home. The man is like, he's worth like $600 million. He sold like a tech company, and he's dedicated his life to just researching how to make yourself de-age and be healthier. He's not using unethical experiments on anyone. The only two people I know of that he's ever even done experiments on are his son and his dad, both of which wanted to participate in the experiments. Look at a photo of him from 2015. He looks unrecognizable. I can't remember what he looked like in 2015, but he did have like a substantial change doing this. Yeah, it is like a totally different person. Actually looks like some kind of Detroit Become Human thing. He should really go back to the beard. The beard actually just made him look younger. Probably can't grow one now. No, I'm sure he can. I don't think he like fried his hair follicles or anything with his like daily red light therapy or anything. He aged too far back, he can't. He's biologically a 6-year-old. His facial hair can't come in now. I mean, I guess you could argue he does because his skin looks so much smoother, but he looks more plastic. I wouldn't necessarily say he looks that much younger, but he looks much more plastic. Personally, I think it looks not bad. I don't think he looks terrible or anything. This was a disaster. Looks like it healed though, so didn't really lose anything from it. That's good. That wasn't permanent. But like, I don't think he's in bad shape or anything. Like, he's actually really fit. Here, hold on. He's got the weirdest workout routine though. He is in good shape. He's like almost 50. He's fit. He looks synthetic. And these are his pills that he takes every day. Man has like 60 pills for breakfast and another 60 pills before bed. And bedtime, I think, is 8 p.m. Just to set the record straight, it's 105 pills that he takes every day. And it's broken up into 2 separate parts. And he also stops eating at, I think it was 11. I'm already forgetting because it was just so much information at once. But I'm pretty sure it's 11. He spends like most of his time in a fasted state. And then his bedtime, he takes sleep super seriously, which makes a lot of sense. There is so much research and evidence to suggest that sleep is like one of the most important things you can do, but it's also the most cringe thing you can do. I hate sleep. I think if we could just find a way to conquer sleep, we would then go out and conquer the stars. If we just had those like 8-9 hours a day that we spend offline, holy shit, the amount of things we could accomplish. That is the holy grail of science, I think, is finding a way for us to not need to sleep. But since we don't live in that fucking fantasy, you know, it's not Warhammer 40k, sleep is very important, and he talks a lot at length about that. In fact, in that video with Will, he says, like, if there's one thing that you take away from all this, even if you don't like everything else, the one thing you should take away is that sleep is important. Like, very, 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 very important. And it is. You should buy one of his true age tests to see how old your body is at the cellular level. How much are they? That's actually not a bad idea. We should do that. We should do that at the warehouse. See who is cellularly the youngest out of our group. So the decode your DNA. This one, right? It's this one, I'm pretty sure. The True Diagnostic Epigenic Company. Decode your DNA. That actually could be fun. I'm gonna send this to send this to my friends. Hey guys, want to test our DNA? We've already done that. Well, kind of. We tested our testosterone. And we're doing a fertility test pretty soon. See who's got the most potent seed. Let chat do a guess poll on who has the most. For potency? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, we could do that. Once we get the kits, though. I'll wait till we get the kits, then we can do a little chat poll. I've just got a sneaking suspicion, though, when we do the fertility test, one of us is going to be sterile, and it's going to be devastating. It's going to make the video so much more uncomfortable. I just have a feeling. Just a hunch. It'll probably be me, too, because growing up, I used to just play City of Heroes on my laptop. Well, it was my parents' laptop. And I just set it on my lap for fucking hours in front of the TV, just letting that fry my sack. I probably burnt all of that to a crisp. Up until recently, I didn't believe in anything paranormal, and I look back on that naive ignorance and disgust. You can see me shaking to this day, just even thinking about what happened. My third eye was truly open to the truth, and it was a rude awakening. Many of you know I've been on this adventure, this quest, to prove that ghosts and spirits and goblins, all this paranormal shit is real, even though I don't believe in it at all. The whole point is to try and find even a shred of evidence through investigating the most haunted places on the planet to see if there's any real substance to it. No phony baloney, smoke and mirrors nonsense, just good old-fashioned paranormal tech and investigations from people that don't believe in it at all to see if, well, is it real? And for 3 investigations, it wasn't. I am an expert in this field now. Even Zach Bagans probably gets a wet spot in his trousers thinking about my effective means of investigation. And our 4th one, I thought was going to be business as usual. Just go there, have some fun, goof around for the other channel. Wouldn't find anything, but we'd have a great time. And I was so confident in that I invited Wendigoon and MeatCanyon out to investigate it with us. We went to the most haunted place in Tampa, Plant Hall. It's a school now, and it's actually where I went to school, at the University of Tampa. It's classrooms and offices, but all students and all staff will tell you all kinds of chilling tales for things that have happened at Plant Hall. It used to be a hotel, many have perished in there, and it's said that many spirits still linger down those hallways. I expected just another ordinary investigation, business as usual, but what we got was anything but ordinary. You can watch the whole video on the other channel to see what kind of demonic presence we unearthed and what we were exposed to and the cursed objects and apparitions that we battled. Yeah, I'll put a link to it in the description. Instead of just showing you clips from that, what I will show you is from MeatCanyon's perspective, because he filmed it himself. He was also a skeptic going into this, and there's no easy way to say this. I almost fucked him. We flew him and Wendigoon out, and MeatCanyon was exposed to one of the most violent spirits on the East Coast, Ruth Budweiser, and she has not let him sleep peacefully since, and he almost died in that school, and I want to show you some of that footage.
The truth about the real haunting of this place, Ruth Budger. She started working here in 1931 when the university just opened. She made a lot of friends, maybe too many. Became extremely close with all the working staff, making love to every single one of them. And then 1932, she had her baby boy, Eliza. She believed that Thomas Listerstein, the dean of the school, was the father to her baby. But when he and others refused a paternity test, in a fit of rage, she jumped off the top of the university, holding her 1-year-old baby. Today, I want to give absolution to the spirit. I want to give her resolution to the traumas that happened in this university.
Has there ever been a more noble quest? Hunter came in here not to perform an exorcism, not to take pictures of a ghost for the sake of clout online, but instead to bring closure to it, to allow it to ascend to the great beyond, knowing full well that it had achieved absolution through Hunter, Ghost Hunter Hancock. God bless. But unfortunately for our protagonist Hunter, MeatCanyon, he would soon learn what happens when you try to help someone who doesn't want to help themselves.
I don't feel good about tonight.
We're doing another paranormal investigation. We're joined by some experts, MeatCanyon, Wendigoon. MeatCanyon's already having quite an experience with Ruth Bootguard.
Ruth Budker, it's all good.
Budker.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Wait, can you... What you didn't see and what I was briefly referencing is, on the plane ride over, Hunter actually had an experience on the flight. When he was using the laboratory, the little boy's room, he felt a tickle on his back. The signature calling card for Ruth. As Hunter laid out, Ruth was known as one of the most promiscuous women on the premises. She had sex with just about every single faculty member, and one of the things she used to love to do is tickle them on their back. And Hunter felt that sensation when he was on the potty. And Hunter took a video of it when he felt it, because he knew something wasn't right. This isn't something he'd experienced before. So he filmed himself on the shitter, and he showed his lower back. And you could even see all the poop in the toilet. There was no tricks about it. That was shit. It was a lot of shit, too. And Hunter's bare-ass cheeks laid before me in this video that he showed me, talking about this mysterious tickle on his back. And I knew right then that this wasn't going to be a normal investigation. I really wish he still had that footage, but somehow the footage mysteriously corrupted. No doubt the work of the dastardly Ruth Budger. God, I wish I had just fucking recorded it with my phone or something. It was so good. So he took this video on the way over, and it's just a bunch of poop in the toilet with his butt cheeks out talking about ghosts. It was so cool.
Just put the camera down, just act cool. Act cool.
Holy shit, Hunter, I don't want to scare you, but you're at 84 degrees. That's the highest yet. What's that mean?
Ghosts are gonna be cold, Charlie.
Oh, yeah, you're safe.
So you're like super safe.
Yeah, you burned Ruth off your back.
I'm going to put these on for exactly 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds, and then I want to be pulled out.
All right, we'll do our best, Hunter, but it's in a different dimension's hands.
Nick, pull me out. 90 seconds starting now. I heard thunder struck for a second.
He's too deep.
Is Thunderstruck an important song to you?
No, not really.
If you've seen any of our investigations or seen any ghost investigation, you'll know what this is. This is the Estes method, where you blindfold yourself, put on noise-canceling headphones, and listen to a spirit box. This is how the spirits talk to you. It's our way of communicating with them beyond the grave. And Hunter jacked into the mainframe here to try and get something from Ruth, but she wasn't feeling all that talkative, unless of course she was a big fan of Thunderstruck, which she did catch a glimpse of. And I think that could mean something, but I don't know Ruth well enough to know exactly what.
No, the fajita bowl.
Fajita bowl?
Yeah, fajita bowl.
Fajita bowl, okay. Alright, well that's understandable, I guess. Okay.
Is this thing rolling? I was just using the restroom, and I had my radar going, and all of a sudden this thing was red hot. I'm gonna try to replicate it right now. I had it pointed right about here. You can tell it was kind of spiking a bit, and I was kind of like rotating around, and nothing. I mean, guys, you should have seen this. It was unbelievable. It was insane. I don't know. I just think something real freaky's going on here, okay? More soon.
This is the face of a man whose bowels have been cursed by something that science can't quite explain. That video you just saw of Hunter recording himself in the restroom is almost identical to the one that he recorded on the plane, poop and all. Like, I have to say, I am extremely impressed with how much shit he is able to pump out. That was 2 mammoth-size, like, full toilet bowls of poop in about a 9-hour period. That is probably the strongest evidence I've seen so far of the paranormal.
Dude, something just touched my back.
Ruth?
Hold on. I need to see if she touched. Is there a mark on my back?
Is there a mark? Hold the radar up to it.
No. Oh, wait. It's yellow. If I go, oh God. There's some warm heat right here.
Oh my God. It feels cold.
I can't even watch that footage back without covering my eyes, knowing that this was happening to Hunter during our investigation and it's entirely my fault. It's an indescribable guilt that I feel. I don't know how to save him. We didn't sage him. We didn't bring out a Vatican-approved exorcist to vanquish Ruth or anything. We just let it fester inside of him. And as you can see here, that tickle on his back, anytime an EMF reader is held up to Hunter since that moment, it will read red. Because Ruth has never left his soul.
Oh my God!
You okay?
I was up.
It really took its toll on MeatCanyon, and for that, I'm sorry. Our investigation was almost as action-packed as this, but luckily, none of us had an experience quite like this. And I don't know how to help him, but I ask that you support MeatCanyon and his newly attained cursed spirit that exists within him now. I just had to talk about this a little bit because I've finally seen real, irrefutable proof of the paranormal thanks to MeatCanyon's sacrifice. That's about it. See ya. We never caught the Zodiac Killer nor DB Cooper, but by golly, I tell you what, you know who we did catch? The Cucumber Butthole Blaster. And I'd say that's good enough. For 7 months, Washington, D.C. citizens have slept in fear, paralyzed with anxiety over the thought that he was out there. Nothing was safe. And for 7 months, We didn't know if he'd ever actually be brought to justice, thrown in the slammer for his degenerate actions with a cucumber. I made a video 7 months ago covering the genesis of this villain. He was captured on camera going up to this car after pulling a cucumber from his lunchbox. He walked over with the big iron on his hip. He then grabbed the cucumber, slapped it into the grill of the car, and then fucked his ass with it. He rode it like a scooter. Well, that is if you ride scooters sitting down, I guess. He rode it like he was galloping on a horse, but it was a cucumber blowing out his fucking guts. Anyway, we have the chilling video camera footage of the event. I won't curse you with that again. I'm not trying to make this like a, you know, the VHS tape from The Ring where you get your butt fucked in 7 days by a cucumber or something, just having watched this degenerate act. But basically, he put it in the grill of the car. He did that, captured on camera. It also happened to be like right next to a school. The whole thing just unbelievably disgusting. Turns out he has a history of doing sex acts like that around the area. This was the only cucumber one that's been reported. This is not what the VeggieTales died for, I'll tell you that much. But he has very extensive history with doing sex acts in public with things like handrails and rakes. And today, he's finally been sentenced.
Being sexually explicit with a cucumber in the middle of the day around the corner from a D.C. high school.
He was sentenced today for a string of sex acts near several families' homes.
What started as a search for a man pleasuring himself in public with a cucumber, now ending with a jail sentence for not one, but a string of alleged sex acts from late July into early September last year.
Now, in the first footage, the initial tapes that captured the cucumber incident where he slapped it in the car's grill, turning it into a unicorn and then cleaning his colon out with it, well, it wasn't just that. He then, after finishing with the car, grabbed the cucumber again and then just bent over and just full-blown, you know, like he was playing a violin with the cucumber, but in his ass. And he did that a few times in and out, and then threw the cucumber back in the lunchbox and then went about his day. I speculated that he may have been out going to do it somewhere else, too. Like, it looked like the director's cut, where it would be like the cucumber butthole blaster will return at the end of, like, you know, the fucking Thunderbolts movie. So, it was just... I had a theory that this wasn't a one-time thing. Turns out, I was correct. I think most people speculated that, though, by the way. It wasn't like a crazy call for me here. He has a history of doing this. You saw a couple of photos there where he's, like, riding the handrails, and he was apparently inserting, like, the end of handrails up his butt.
Mere yards down the street where 31-year-old Anthony Hines II was caught on camera in broad daylight with the vegetable he just pulled from a lunchbox. Court documents show a string of similar incidents, mostly involving handrails. And one, police explicitly said, is shaped like a pine cone. Another handrail, allegedly hit on 2 occasions, is now wrapped with what looks like sandpaper.
Honestly, just put that handrail out of its misery. Just send it to the fucking grave. It doesn't want to live anymore, I'll tell you that much. The sandpaper's only going to do so much. Just take it down, destroy it. It's ruined. It's completely ruined. This weirdo just cruising around Washington, D.C. on freaky mode. Anytime he sees a handrail, he just gets a boner. Also, when he was doing all of these things, did he go to completion till he ejaculated? Like, it's already a huge health hazard, just putting his bare anus on all of these handrails and handles of rakes. Like, I feel like that's a pretty serious thing. Like, there's probably people that use those handrails and maybe got sick fucking pink eye or something, cholera, I have no idea, E. coli. It feels like a pretty big deal to me. But his sentencing was very light. I'll spoil the surprise. He got sentenced to 360 days in jail, but he's only going to be serving 6 months and then some probation. I think that's less than a slap on the wrist. He's going to do it again. For 6 months, he will probably, when he gets out, I would imagine the next day, park your cars in the garage or hide them under some trees somewhere, anywhere out of sight, because there is going to be a rampage with this man and every vegetable he can find at the supermarket. He will be going everywhere, putting everything in his butt across all of Washington, D.C. Mark my words. Like, that is not nearly punishment enough for this, I think.
Footage in one homeowner's backyard reportedly caught Hines using the handle of a garden rake in a sex act.
Public or private, anywhere in your backyard, man, not appropriate, I don't think.
Homeowners impacted told me they're relieved for a bookend to the bizarre case, including one whose SUV was targeted with the cucumber, saying she's grateful for the police work, adding, quote, "I'm thankful to the community for helping crack the case of the vegetable voyeur and look forward to enjoying farmers market season in peace."
Yeah, it is nice he was arrested and will be going to jail, but it's not for that long. You can enjoy the farmers market for approximately 6 months. This dude, upon being released, I would wager a guess, will probably walk down the steps, take down his britches, and immediately start flossing his ass crack with the handrail outside the jailhouse. That would be my guess. Like, this is definitely someone who is just out of control. He has a history of doing this with handrails, the fucking handle of a garden rake, a cucumber on some stranger's car right next to a school. Like, come on.
And just today, Hines was sentenced for 5 counts of lewd, indecent, or obscene acts. 4 counts related to accessing private property when he wasn't supposed to be there. He did plead guilty and was sentenced to 360 days in jail, but will serve 6 months, according to the terms, after pleading guilty, and an additional 2 years of probation.
I can't help but just think about that sandpaper handrail one more time real quick. Was that like a preventative measure that they put there? Like, they wrapped it in sandpaper to try and discourage copycat criminals from fucking themselves on it? Or did he, the cucumber butthole blaster, wrap it in the sandpaper for his pleasure? And then the question becomes, how did he not just leave it covered in blood? Like, if he wrapped in sandpaper and then just started, you know, bouncing on it crazy style, how did he not rub all the skin off of his sphincter? So to me, it feels like it was put there after the fact, and I don't see how that does anything at all. It just feels, that whole tidbit of lore there with that handrail post asshole incident is just a little confusing to me, but maybe I'm just not thinking about it properly and can't fully grasp the real intention behind the sandpaper. I think it's also worth mentioning, these are the only cases we know of. There's a chance that every handrail in Washington, D.C. has faced the wrath of this man's asshole. Like, we can't rule out that possibility. This is only what he's been caught with here on these handrails, and that garden rake, and that cucumber on that car. But it could have been spanning years. Only God has that information. We can't possibly seek to understand how long he's been doing this, or how many handrails have been compromised out there. Stay safe, Washington, D.C. Yes, he may be going to jail, but the damage that his anus has done, well, there's no telling the extent. Anyway, I just want to kind of give you the update here on this story. Pretty wacky, wild, and disgusting one, huh? That's really about it. See ya. Good luck sleeping tonight with this villain I'm about to put on your radar. You will be trying to snooze with one eye open and one eye on your phone, looking for any Ring doorbell alerts. Because there's a menace on the loose. There's a maniac afoot, and SpongeBob isn't here to catch him yet. We're talking about the Porch Pooper, an elusive, nefarious scoundrel that's leaving undesired presence on the front door of one man in particular at the moment. But this could be just the beginning of a crime spree.
You've probably heard of porch pirates, but what about porch poopers? Don't know any other way to say it.
I can think of like 100 other ways to say it. Why didn't you just ask me? But I will say, Porch Pooper, I think, is very solid. That's a great alliteration that just flows off the tongue. But I've got some cool names for this cryptid. Feel free to use them. The Patio Shadio, Spready Fazbear, Poop Shitman. I'm partial to Poop Shitman myself. It sounds like the name of a Kojima character, like Die Hard Man.
Right now, LMPD is looking for a man who has been using the bathroom on Louisville homeowner's porch all week long. Ward Jollish tracked down the homeowner and spoke with him about being targeted by a porch pooper.
That's the last kind of person you want to be targeted by. That's like being hunted down by Jason Bourne right there. A porch pooper has set his sights on this one homeowner in particular for no reason that they can figure out yet. It seems like random act of shit.
Listen, A warning. While we won't show you everything, okay? We won't show you everything. Some may be grossed out by this video.
When I first watched this, I actually thought this was about to be some kind of like sly plug for their Patreon or something, or like exclusive membership content on their YouTube channel. Look, we're not going to show you everything here, but sub to the Patreon or join on YouTube and you get the full ass blasto experience here, poop and all. More butt cheek and more feces than you can handle. Enjoy to your heart's content. But it's just her letting viewers know, like, hey, there's a dude fucking squatty pottying on this guy's front door, and even though we censored it, it's still kind of yucky.
It all started with this. Sunday night, a young man in a red shirt walks up to one Louisville home well after midnight and begins peering inside. The homeowners have no clue. After a few seconds, the man runs away in his socks and disappears into the night. But the next night, he returns and leaves a horrific surprise.
There's a lot to unpack here. If you ask me, it doesn't seem like he's in his right mind. He's got to be under the influence of something, it looks like. Because he's approaching the door and he starts doing this with his hands like he's fucking putting binoculars on to see inside of it, about to use x-ray vision or something. I know it's an effective strategy when you actually get to the door so you can see in a little bit better and focus, but he was doing it like from way too far away for that to be useful at all. And of course you have to be off your goddamn gourd to take a shit on a stranger's doorstep. But what's even weirder about this is that it was a premeditated shitting. It wasn't like some kind of impulse thing where he just had the bubble guts and just couldn't hold it in anymore, the dam broke. He went to the house one night, cased the joint basically, scoping out the scenery, making sure it's like the optimal place to take a shit. Came back the following night after cooking it up, like charging his alt for 24 hours, and then released the payload. Like, he just took the dump the following night. So this was something that he had planned out from the sound of it. And looking at the footage, he was wearing the same outfit. At least if this footage is the proper timeline, where he went to the house first just looking at everything, and then came back the next night taking the shit, he's wearing the exact same clothes, so he didn't even like bathe or change in that time.
Tuesday morning, I went out to my front porch and noticed this, what I thought was a cat poop.
The homeowner, who wishes to remain anonymous but who we'll refer to as Jim, then checked his doorbell camera and realized it was no cat at all.
And it turned out to be a person. And not only did he defecate, but he also urinated on our welcome mat.
This seems personal, but the homeowner Jim has no idea who this guy is or why he would do this in the first place. And to make matters even worse, I'm pretty sure I have that exact same pair of pants that the porch pooper is wearing. So I may have been burgled by this gentleman. Maybe he broke into my house in the middle of the night, stole my pants, and left a fucking surprise somewhere that I haven't found yet. And now he's wearing my pants while shitting around the town.
What's even more disturbing is that the man returned a third time the very next night. Jim got an alert on his phone and tried to confront him, but the man was already gone.
You have no idea who this guy is or why he's doing this?
I have no idea. We're good neighbors. We, keep to ourselves. We behave ourselves. And
he was visited 3 times, like the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. But the only gift he was given was the gift of a fucking colon cleansing on his front porch. And in all 3 instances captured on the doorbell camera, he's wearing the same clothes. This guy didn't bathe or change over the course of 3 different public shitting incidents. His hygiene stinks. This guy fucking super sucks. I imagine him going around town, he has like this cartoonish stink cloud that follows him around. He is probably unbearable to be near. Holy shit.
Jim has now filed 3 police reports for each night his home has been targeted, but so far, no arrest. Just a big mess he's now forced to clean up.
I'm relieved that he's not violent or he's not trying to force entry. He's just doing his deed, but it's very disconcerting and disturbing.
In Louisville, Ward Jollis, Wave News.
Now, I did wonder if the news broadcast had just repeated footage here when they did the side by side, because it looks so similar. He goes to pretty much the exact same spot, like down to the millimeter, and he spends about the exact same amount of time shitting, which I find to just be highly unlikely, unless this guy is some kind of anus specialist, the butt whisperer, and he's trained his ass to be extremely strict with how long shitting takes. Then it just seems weird that it's pretty much the exact same across all three instances. But it is very possible, because when he's, to debunk myself, when he stands up in some of the shitting there, he reacts differently. So like in one of them, he looks at the door, and the other one, he doesn't and just immediately looks to the left and goes away. So it probably is separate instances. I just still find it shocking how consistent he was with it. Same position, same location, same duration, and same clothing. It's like when he's not shitting on this guy's front porch, he just enters stasis and then comes back the next night in the exact same outfit and everything. It's just so peculiar. So yeah, hopefully they catch the porch pooper sooner rather than later. I'd hate to see more homes ruined by such foul fecal matter being spread haphazardly like this in locations where it shouldn't be. So yeah, hopefully Jim no longer has to deal with this porch pooper, and I just wanted to make you all aware of this so you can take precautions. If you hear a rumbling of a tummy in the middle of the night, sprint to your front door ASAP, because you might be able to catch the porch pooper. Yeah, so that's about it. See ya. I'm going to be honest, I'm sick and tired of you being so weak that you can't win every street fight you find yourself in, so I'm about to change that. You're welcome, no need to thank me. I'm going to introduce you to humanity's finest warrior, Adam. He is our combat specialist that is undefeatable and invincible. In fact, he's my sensei, and I've been studying under him for about a year now, and I don't like to toot my own horn, but just to give you an example of the power that he can bestow upon us mere mortals, I don't even get bit by mosquitoes anymore because I can sense them coming and channel my chi into my palms and actually force blast them away, deatomizing them. And check this out. Think about what I can do to the human body with that kind of power at my disposal, and it's all thanks to Adam's teachings. He is a Tai Chi expert.
Very light touch. Just 1 gram of pressure. Because it's correct, not because it's light. Light is just light. Or he's so powerful. Oh, he crushes me. I use not light, I use heavy.
Almost too much heavy, nearly launched that man into an alternate timeline. This is what it looks like to be truly at the top of your game. He barely even has to touch him, and he's sending him flying. He's fucking ragdolling him here. He is potato sacking this poor gentleman for the demonstration. And keep in mind, that's only using one little tiddlywink of pressure, just 1 simple gram of pressure. Imagine what he's capable of if he turns that chi dial up and he gets into like 15 milliliters, like maybe even like 20 ounces, or God forbid, a kilogram worth of chi. Now, since I've been studying Tai Chi from Adam for a while, he calls it Tai Chi, I'm able to pick up on subtle things that most of you probably didn't see, so I'm going to break it down for you plebeians. Adam was actually moving so fast during this demonstration that after he sent the student flying, Adam himself zoomed over there and gave him a Naruto 1,000 years of pain, and then sat right back down, all in a single frame that you probably can't even find through slowing this video down. Only through the trained peepers of a Tai Chi master was I able to pick up on this.
I use heavy. Very heavy. Or very light. I use very slow. Very slow. Doesn't matter how fast he wants to move. I use slow.
Not only is Adam a biological weapon, he's a biological anomaly. There is no way of knowing just how old this guy is. He's got the hairstyle of fucking Neocortex from Crash Bandicoot. He looks like a mad scientist that's in his 70s, but has the body of a gamer. There's just no way of pinning the tail on this donkey. It's checkmate. If you were forced to give a police sketch description of the gentleman who spiritually fucked your soul without ever even touching you, how would you even describe this gentleman?
Well, I use very fast. Change. Not light, not heavy, not fast, not slow. Correct. Not incorrect. Try to follow the method. If you have sincerity towards the method towards Tai Chi Chuan, Tai Chi Chuan will be sincere to you.
Profound and thought-provoking words, and it's a motto I live my life by now. And thanks to following this code, this method, I am able to ejaculate without ever even touching myself.
So looking at anti-takedown or counter-takedown.
Now maybe some of you non-believing heretics didn't trust the method there with Adam's demonstration while sitting down. Maybe you thought the student was in on it and just kind of playing along with the ruse and it's all a sham. Well, do I have the answer for you? This is Sifu Adam teaching us all how his Tai Chi can be used to prevent MMA takedowns, and he peels back the curtain here on some forbidden techniques, the repulse monkey and, Lord help us all, golden cock. Also, shout out to whoever in Adam's life told him to just shave his head. Probably the best decision he's made since starting his Tai Chi training. Shaving his head was crucial. He de-aged himself like 30 years just from that maneuver right there. So even if you take nothing away from the martial arts here, martial arts, a term I'm using very loosely, let this be a lesson to you that sometimes you need to reevaluate your style.
The repulse monkey. We shift the weight back and we step back on the line, and it's got some an, jin, and you release out for repulse monkey. It's a great way to defend the single leg takedown or even an attempt at a double leg. So just to look at the method, if they were going to shoot in, I'd shift back, turn my body as he's still coming in, touch the head, and just follow far towards the ground or out to the side.
An extension of that movement that I was theory crafting on in Tai Chi is after the repulse monkey and you're following them down like this, you can keep following through, doing a full ballerina twist, getting out a shovel and digging their grave, because you just fucking killed them with the repulse monkey if you're using this technique. Only use this on someone that you think deserves to die. This is way too powerful to just be freely posting on YouTube. I can't believe it's here.
So back if you're more engaged, like so. And then if they really work it, again, throw some punches or whatever. Okay, and then of course you can step into finish.
Good luck to MMA takedowns going forward, am I right? How do you stop that? You can't. You can't. You can only hope to, negotiate your way out of there diplomatically. Like, hey, look, I'm sorry I went for an MMA takedown. I didn't know you had mastered the repulse monkey. Please spare me and my family. I had no fucking clue who I was dealing with. But it's probably already too late, because if he busted out the repulse monkey, your goose is already cooked, friend.
So they grab your legs and they drive forward and pick up your leg and so on to take you down. So we could look at maybe golden cock, right? In the large frame once again, and you change, and there's the an as you transfer, and then you pick up the other leg.
The golden cock, I don't even think I need to explain to you. We've all heard of that before. It's basically the dance of death. It's like a real-life waterfowl dance, honestly.
So I'd look at it slowly. If he did get my leg, I failed, I didn't get back in time. He picks up my knee and drives forward. I follow, picking up the foot like golden cock. And then I do the transition and sink the arm. Now, the key to this is that, so in the form here, when I change and sink down, that I sink the chi, mobilize the chi to my foot and to my hands, mobilizing out so that my leg becomes impossibly heavy. I'm following with my leg and then firing through my leg and continuing and guiding and adding jin with the hands.
He makes it look so easy, but in practice, you'll never find someone that can do it so fluidly, because there's a lot that's happening internally. As he mentioned, he has to be mobilizing his chi into different areas. It's not as simple as just this. Only an amateur would think it's just this. There's a lot of chi that happens, and I'm going to try my best here, so if I crash through the floor, just know I made my leg too impossibly heavy with too much chi. But what he's doing is he's taking all of the chi during golden cock after getting his leg taken. He's bringing it up, and then he's mobilizing here, and there's a lot of chi happening down in this region. And then he does that, which, man, my bones are cracking under the pressure of how much chi I mobilized. But anyway, upon successful cock, the opponent will most likely die.
I failed. He drives forward and picks up my knee. There's the first golden cock. I step back and arm down. This would be the second one on the way up for the knee strike to the head. So in real time now.
Lord have mercy on anyone that tries an MMA takedown with someone who's well versed in Adam's Taiji. They will not know what's about to happen to them.
Which doesn't mean it's exactly the same as the form, but it has the qualities of the form. Open, upright, the regal nature of Yang style. It doesn't do weird movements. Yang style doesn't do any of that. It's always just, right? That's its nature. So you have its nature. And then you gradually start refining so that at any time you can make your body in such a way that you can control them and produce power.
I think he's saying Young style. I don't really know what that is. I'm only familiar with fucking epic style. Am I right, gamers? But he's trying to teach something there and getting an arm massage from his student until he didn't want that arm massage anymore, and he produced an invisible blast, a force field that was projected outwards from his body.
Now, from the coarse to the subtle, you just go through the pattern and you use the repetitive nature of the pattern to produce accuracy in your body. Oh. Now, the key point is the consciousness, the chi, the jin.
The burst of energy that he's emitting is just overwhelming. You can see the students getting just fucking thrown all over the place here. On that final one, you could even hear a groan of pain, or perhaps even pleasure, as his body was confused with the energy that was thrust into it. Maybe it was something that maybe even got down there and tickled the G-spot. Perhaps a brown note that even produced a little bit of a fart with a extra little packed punch there, a little shardy party. There's really no telling, and that's kind of the beauty of Adam's brand of Tai Chi. Its power lies in its unpredictability, and as he states, the consciousness of the Jin. There's just... I could get into this for hours. It's something that warrants endless study, and you're never going to be as effective at it as Adam clearly is, but even just integrating it into your life can turn you from just ordinary Joe Schmo goober into an absolute killing machine. We already saw how effective the Repulse Monkey and Golden Cock is, and now he's showing you a couple of like invisible blasts through Taiji movements once you accept the consciousness, right? So it's just, you get the idea, is the point. So hopefully this will help you win all of your upcoming fights. Hopefully this will be helpful to all of you out there, and that's really about it. See ya. I feel the need to apologize in advance for this, but I cannot help myself. I have to show you this and talk about it. This is a full-blown Jesus wept situation. This is one of those degenerate acts that the Lord up in heaven turns his head away from in shame with tears in his eyes. Matt sent me this earlier today. I can't even believe this is a real sentence I'm going to say. There's a villain on the loose in Washington, D.C. right now, a true menace to society, a maniac on the loose. And a Reddit user caught them in 4K on camera where they put a cucumber in the grill of their vehicle, an innocent civilian's vehicle. This dude comes up, puts a cucumber in the grill, and then fucks himself with it. I'll show you some of the footage here, and I gotta tell you, it seems premeditated. I don't think this is his first rodeo here. Also, according to some people in the comments, they actually recognized his MO. Apparently, he's done this cucumber butt fucking across Washington before. So anyway, this guy comes over, and he sticks the cucumber in the grill of that car, like Neil Armstrong planting the American flag on the moon. He also appears to be a master magician because that sleight of hand was impressive. I didn't even see the cucumber in his hand at any point until he reached the vehicle. It's like he just spawned it in, just conjured the cucumber out of thin air. So he makes sure that it's firmly planted in there like Excalibur into the stone. And also the Reddit user gave a brief explanation for why there's like a hole in that fence. According to the lore, 3 kids crashed a stolen car into their fence last week, which created this hole, which the Cucumber Crusader used to get access to the vehicle. I can hear that Nissan Rogue crying out in agony right now. He is sexually assaulting this poor Nissan here. In broad daylight, too. Like, he looks around once just to check if anyone's watching, and then just goes for it. It wasn't exactly the most thorough sweep of the area, but who knows, maybe he's on a 3 cucumber ass streak, so he's got a UAV online, so he knew it was clear. He knew the coast was clear. So he just starts bouncing on it for a while, and then a car comes by. But he had like a spidey sense that was tingling, so before the car turned the corner, he must have heard it, I suppose. So he stops riding the cucumber. So he gets off the mechanical bull here and waits for the car to pass. He looks so annoyed that this car is passing through, like, come on, man, really? This is private property. Can't you see I'm busy? Go on, scram, get out of here. I got business to tend to. He pops the cucumber out of the car, at least most of it, according to the Reddit post. 2/3 or so was left in the grill of the car. That is a big-ass cucumber. Emphasis on ass cucumber. Like, that shit is the size of Kevin from SpongeBob. And also, it doesn't seem like he lubricated it either. At no point does he, like, spit on it or anything. He just raw dogs the cucumber on the grill of this Nissan. I don't know how he didn't tear his entire butthole off by taking a cucumber dry up the pooper. That is craziness. So anyway, though, he's all disappointed now that his session was interrupted, so he takes his trusty steed, walks back over to his lunchbox, puts out his cigarette, and then we go into phase 2 of the boss battle. He drops his trousers again, and this time he just starts shoving the cucumber in his ass while he's, like, somewhat bent over. I can't show you any footage of that one, obviously, but, you know, he doesn't even need the cars anymore. He's done with props. He cracks his knuckles and says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." This whole video is unhinged, but perhaps the most insane part about it is something I can't show you because his ass is out. But when he finishes plungering his asshole, he puts the cucumber back in his lunchbox. Dude just drops a stinky poo-cumber into his lunchbox and then walks away with it. It's like an ambiguous open ending to Inception here, where you, the viewer, get to decide what he did with it next. In my headcanon, he just goes and eats it. Like, I feel like he probably ate that ass pickle. But it's also equally possible that, you know, he takes his sidekick to another car, and the cycle repeats itself again with him ass blasting himself on the hood of another person's vehicle. By far, the most degenerate thing I've seen this year. I think I can safely say that. Now, this story has somewhat blown up, at least in Washington. It's been picked up by quite a few outlets. And the location where this act happened is right next to a school. And I mean right next to a school. Like, you could actually shoot a spitball and probably hit it from the place where this guy stuck a cucumber in his butt. This area is apparently used by students pretty often. Like, they walk down that alley to get to school. A lot of people go down this area. It's a high traffic zone. And this dude did that there. It is so fucking gross. This whole thing is so disgusting. But yeah, I just had to talk about this a little bit. If you live in the Washington, D.C. area, sleep in fear. Maybe, you know, like, booby trap the grill of your car just in case he happens to roll through and your car piques his interest. You know, maybe like some barbed wire a little bit on the front of the grill or something. I'm not really sure how to stop it, but good luck out there. As of right now, he's still at large. So, yeah, that's really about it. See ya.